Well, Manchester United fans in numbers correcting me, saying, no, forget it. It was an embarrassment at Wembley. No name on this one. I was at Wembley yesterday. The team are an embarrassment, Jim. Took my 8-year-old to the game. I've got to tell you, some of the behaviour of our own fans was disgusting. I don't know what behaviour he's talking about there. But anyway, we shall take some calls on this. Because whichever way you look at it, Erik Ten Hag is in another cup final with Manchester United. It's as simple as. The thing is, it's against Manchester City, and that's one United fans would dearly love to win, but so would City fans. Abs is a big United fan. Graeme Souness is alongside Simon and myself. Abs, what do you want to say?
Where do I start, guys? I mean, I was at the game yesterday myself, and I mean, everyone's quick to blame the manager, which obviously is fair enough, but I mean, some of these players, I'm going to start off with Rashford. Like, I mean, I had a great view on Rashford, and he's just running back. Like, he's not even running back; he's just jogging back. Like, you play for Man United, the biggest club in the world. Like, you're earning a ridiculous amount of money, but and these players are just criminals. And I'm sick to death of going in, week out, seeing the same performances, and nobody calls them out. Everyone's quick to blame the manager, which is fair enough. But I mean, some of these players is ridiculous. Like, everyone's in a profession. Like, you guys have a job to do. I have a job to do, and you're getting paid to do a job. And when you're not doing your job properly, you have to get called out for it. These players, no one says nothing about them. How many managers are they going to throw under the bus? Like, it's good to change a manager, but you can get rid of Ten Hag like today. And then what about these players? The players are still going to be here. It's going to be rinse, recycle, repeat. And they're all criminals. I'm sick to death of it as well.
They're all criminals. Abs, this is strong. I mean, Graeme, you were a manager. Do you identify with what Abs is saying about the players?
I can understand his frustration because it's Man United he's talking about. You know, the standards at Man United prior to, well, since Fergie left, have gone downhill alarmingly. And it must, I don't know what age you are, Abs, but you've obviously seen your team win all the big trophies, I would imagine, listening to you. And
yeah,
it'll be a hard watch. And he touches on Rashford. You know, when Abs mentioned Rashford, you know what I thought of? Do you remember that incident at Luton with Barkley?
Yes.
Was on the ball.
Yeah.
Barkley,
he kind of gave up in it.
He went past him at 3/4 pace and he just give up. You know, and we mentioned with Joe Cole earlier, senior players call out these things on the pitch at that time. But it shouldn't happen on a match day, because every day in training, if that was to happen, senior players will be pointing that out, a manager will be pointing that out. So I don't think players dig each other out, and I don't think this manager you've got now has not dug him out about that, because that wouldn't have been the first time he's done it. And that game against Luton, and that will influence all of his game. He's going through the motions at times.
Other United fans around you, do they feel the same about a perceived lack of commitment on Rashford's part?
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, it's not just Rashford. I'm not just going to single out Rashford. There's a lot of the players, to be fair. Like, they don't, you know what I mean? They're earning such a ridiculous amount of money a week. And all we ask for every week is just 90 minutes, 100 minutes of hard work, dedication, commitment. Football, sometimes you can lose a game of football. Like, it happens to every team. But when you go out on that pitch, all we ask for is, you know, you're playing for the biggest club in the world. Just give it all you've got. And when you see players not running back, not even giving 5-10% effort, you know what I mean? And they're getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. We're paying an extortionate amount of money to go watch you play week in, week out. And all we ask for is 90 minutes, 100 minutes of dedication. You can't even give us that. And it's not like it's a one-off thing. It's been happening time after time. This season, Man United players, they don't know how to manage leaves. They're very incapable of doing anything, I'll be honest with you. And talking the final, we got no chance against City, I'll be honest with you. Like, I'll go to the game. I'll obviously always support the team, no matter what. But
Abs, I don't think anyone's pointed this out to Man United players. When you play for Man United, every single game you play is a cup final. The team you're playing against, when the fixtures come out in June or whenever, May, players, all the other clubs, when we at Old Trafford, when do they come to us? It's one of the games as a player. It's imprinted in your head before the season starts. So Man United, like Liverpool, like Arsenal this year, like Man City, they never play an easy game. Every game is a cup final. You're playing the best version of the team you're in against. That's what you have to expect. Yeah. And these Man United players don't seem to grasp that.
Abs, let's finish on this. Say Ten Hag and United find a way to beat City at Wembley. Should Ten Hag, in your view, go into next season?
You know, I was always defending Ten Hag, even at the start of the season. Obviously, injuries and whatnot. These things, it happens to every single team. But I'll be honest with you, he has no style of play. Like, I can't really see where we're going to go with him. And obviously the ownership has changed now as well, a lot, 25% of it. And they're getting rid of a lot of people as well. I'll be honest, even if he wins the FA Cup, he should still go, to be fair. Not just him. I don't want to just point the finger at him. A lot of these players are not good enough. They have been there since, Ten Hag, Van Gaal, Mourinho.
Right.
They've got a lot of these managers are sacked. But I personally, he has to go, to be fair.
That was quite a call. Thank you for that. So many United fans want through, and we'll get you through because we'll carry on after this. 03717 223344. Manchester United are in a cup final, and they're up against Manchester City. And yet, obviously, the support this morning is divided as to the United you're watching and whether or not they even deserve to be there. We can go to Simon because Simon's waiting to call us, to come to air with us. Simon, good morning. What do you want to say, mate?
Good morning. I actually watched the game as well. I'm a huge United fan.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you, by the time it got to 3-3, I actually wanted Coventry to go on and win the match, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I'm just sick of seeing the same thing over and over again. And one thing, I actually have to apologise to Simon, actually, because when I first started listening to Simon, I thought he was just a bit harsh, but he has excellent analysis. And I think one thing Simon always talks about is meritocracy. And Man U, at that point, they didn't deserve to actually progress and get to the final. And one thing that actually came to my mind is if we look at City versus Real Madrid the other day, one of the biggest 14 times Champions League winners, all defending as a unit and working hard as a team, not too arrogant, not too big name players to actually, stick as a unit. And, if you watch Luton play, for instance, win or lose or draw, they're going to defend and support each other. And if people are playing against Man United, it's common knowledge that they just know that Rashford and Garnacho are not going to track back. They're not going to track back. It's something that we know. So I kind of get what Abs was saying before about not blaming the manager. But where do we actually draw the line and say, well, how is it that we as United fans just know that our team won't defend as a unit? They refuse through arrogance or whatever to actually put a shift in defensively as well as offensively, and it's why we're left in the position we're in now.
Simon, you mentioned our Simon here, but Graeme Souness sitting here nodding to everything you've said.
Simon, the point you make about Real Madrid last week at Man City is so correct. You had some of the most talented football players in world football putting the hard yards in when they had to, and that was a real team performance. Because City were by far the better team and should have won. Yeah. But talented people, and I hate the term in the modern game when they talk about everyone has to work hard without the ball. It's always been like that. The best teams always did that. And you've highlighted Garnacho and Rashford. You're 100% correct. Garnacho for me is an exceptionally talented young man, but I worry for him. And just an observation, call me old-fashioned, call me a dinosaur. He's got 2 earrings in the warm-up on the pitch. And he's a young boy, he's just learning the game. You just want to come back to the point that Joe Cole made about good senior pros, pointing out to younger guys how you live your life, how you act, how you train, your attitude to life. And I just worry, it's an age-old thing. It's not a new thing, by the way, at Man United. Man United have always been the most glamorous football club in this country. They're a bit like Bayern Munich in Germany are called FC Hollywood. I think you could use the same term to talk about Man United. They get too much too soon at Man United. That's my take on it. I've been a player and a manager in English for a very long time. When we were the dominant team at Liverpool, they were still the players were bigger stars than we were. They get so much attention, Man United players, and I think it's to the detriment, especially in the modern game, when the kind of rewards these boys get. They get far too much too soon. And I think Rashford is a case in point at 25, should just now be approaching his best years. It looks his best years are long gone.
Simon, is all forgiven if United win the cup?
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, like I say, can you imagine United pinned back in the half doing what Real Madrid were doing? Because City will have all the dominance. And I do believe that, we can beat City on our day, but I just don't think the mentality of the players is there. Like right now, I'd take a Park Ji-sung or a Valencia or what we had, because we used to have grafters in the team that, maybe wasn't as technically gifted as your Garnachos or Rashford or whatever, but they would always put in a shift. And now we just know as United fans that we're just not going to get that at all.
Listen, Simon, thank you so much. Thanks for your time and your
call.
Points. Extremely good points.
But they'll do it against City. A point he's making is a good point, and Graeme.
Simon,
let me just see what my point is and see how irrelevant you think it may be. There's arrogance about not being prepared to do certain things against opposition that they think they're superior to. They know they're not superior to Manchester City. They know there's a possibility they're going to get played off the park. So there might be a reaction from the Man United players that they're prepared to do certain things that they wouldn't be against Coventry, because there's an expectation in their minds like, what are we doing against Coventry? We don't need to.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.